Stangibilisco here. I am going to explain some basic precautions that you can use in order to protect your radio station, your amateur radio station, against the effects of electromagnetic pulses. Now, electromagnetic pulses usually occur as a result of a nearby lightning strike. If you get a direct lightning hit on an antenna, say you get a direct hit right here, bam! Your radios and your feed line and your antenna are fried. The same thing's going to happen if you get a direct hit over here, or if you get a direct hit on a power line right outside your house. But basically, the cause of an electromagnetic pulse is a nearby lightning strike, although there can be other causes such as coronal mass ejection from the sun and other issues which have been over-politicized and overemphasized, but nevertheless theoretically possible. If you get such an electromagnetic pulse, it's going to create a surge current in your antennas and on the utility mains. So what do you do to ensure protection against these events? Well, the best thing for you to do is to, whenever you are not using your ham radio station, unplug the utility mains, disconnect the antennas, ground these feed lines, and preferably also disconnect them at the radio. Whatever feed lines go to whatever antennas you may have, and to use surge suppressors or transient suppressors on the power lines leading into the power supplies. Right there is where you would put a transient suppressor, is what it's theoretically called. They call them surge protectors, things like that. Even though you will have unplugged your equipment from the wall outlet, because any long length of wire anywhere, be it between your computer and your video camera, or your HF transceiver and your linear, God forbid. Usually that'll be a shielded cable and that'll help. Your computer and your printer, or lines from the power supplies to all units, any long length of wire can act like an antenna to pick up this so-called electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, electromagnetic pulse. You can get one on the antenna feed lines. You can get one on any wire or cable leading between any two units, but if they're very long, you're more likely to get a serious one. So the best thing to do is to isolate your entire station from any long lengths of wire that may lead into them directly or indirectly. Now, if your computer happens to be a notebook computer, you're really in luck, because all you need to do is unplug the charging unit from the computer itself and unplug all cables leading into the computer. And if it's a laptop, that's really easy to do, or a tablet device, just isolate it so that and then if you really want to ensure protection, you can put it in a metal box like a bread box or something like that to electromagnetically shield the whole thing. But from all practical intents and purposes, just disconnect everything that leads into your station and isolate it. disconnect the antennas and ground them. So you'd want to ground this antenna, you'd want to ground this antenna, and ideally, if this HF antenna is very tall, you want to take it down or have a tilt over or some other device where you can lay it on the ground and minimize the extent to which surge currents will occur in that antenna. But of course, if it's disconnected from the radios, that's kind of academic. And again, if you suffer a direct hit on the utility mains or on the antennas, those items are going to be fried. But your radios don't have to be. Just don't ever connect your radios to anything externally except when you're using the station. And if you're stupid enough to use your station during a thunderstorm, then what you deserve is going to be what you get. Your radio will end up somewhere in the ether amongst the galaxies, looking down perhaps upon our own, where our planet, the third planet in around an orbit in that star, laughs back at your radios and laughs at you. Those are the basic things that I know you can do, but there are more things, and that's why I want to find out what W1AW does. I will include a link to the ARRL website in the description of this video, and maybe you can email the station manager at W1AW and ask him, can you write an article for QST that describes all this? I've already done it. Maybe one voice isn't enough. How about 1,000 voices? Stan Gibilisco signing off for now. From a galaxy in an unknown cluster of galaxies in an unknown universe in an unknown cluster of universes in an unknown thought machine in an unknown everything, especially my own head. Stan Gibilisco, W1GV Whiskey 1 Good Vibrations, signing off. 73, which means best regards in ham radio jargon, and da-da-da-da-da-da.